On behalf of Cricket West Indies and the West Indies senior men's team, I would like to say welcome to all of the journalists that have taken the time out to be here today with us. As we promised, we do have the new head coach of the West Indies white ball setup here to speak with us. That is Darren Sammy. And Darren is quite eager to get into his first press conference as head coach and begin answering you guys' questions. So as I said, I won't hold us up too much. The first raised hand that I'm seeing is from Junior Codlin. And Junior, I'm going to ask you to please proceed with your question.
Good evening, head coach Darren Sammy.
Good evening. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, man. And you're looking very pleased to be sitting in the hot seat.
That's what my demeanor gives out. Well, I'll take that.
Wonderful. But Sammy, when you took over as West Indies captain some years ago, you came in a climate which was not really welcome, but we have seen you grow in the job and took us to 2 World Cups. And a bit of that climate is around. So do we about to see history repeat itself?
Well, what I could tell you, I approached this role the same way like I did back in 2010 when I took on the captaincy role. First thing I did was to sit down and, well, not sit down, but went on my knees and start praying for the divine intervention, the wisdom needed for this role, the patience needed, and the vision to achieve the things that that would make the fans and those who follow us proud of. I understand the challenges that comes with the role, but in doing so, it's not one that fears me. I'm quite excited about the challenges because of what I see we have and understanding the task at hand. I think that's the most important thing to me. And it's not just in cricket, in just how I live. Once I understand what the job requires, then I now could focus on the things that I have to do and block out the noise, because I've had to do that throughout my career, block out the noise. But yes, I see similar pattern, but one that I think I'm even more prepared for.
Wonderful. And I'm sure you're going to draw inspiration from Brandon McCullum and what he had to achieve.
Yes, Brandon, is one I've followed quite closely. What he's doing in England, putting a stamp. But you have to understand a lot of things went into him being there. You have 2 like-minded individuals at the helm of England's red ball. Ben Stokes as the captain, sync with Brendan McCullum as a leader. So then it took the team to buy into the vision. So in all establishments and organizations and teams, once you're dealing with a group of people, it's not just one piece of the puzzle. You have to fit in everything around to make it work. And that's, speaking with the 2 captains, Shea and Powell, we all share the same vision. The chairman of selectors, the vision of the board, all these things must be in line. And then we start putting out the plans in working forward to taking those small steps in the right direction.
Sammy, we appreciate you for taking on the job, man. And I certainly wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Junior.
I'm seeing a question from Joel in the chat in terms of the technical staff and what that will look like. However, Joel, that information has not been sent out to the public as yet. So you'll see something like that shortly.
Thank you for taking that on.
Brandon Collett, please proceed with your questions.
Hi there, Coach. Good day to you.
Good
Evan
day,
Lewis,
Mhm.
Evan Lewis and Shimron Hetmyer, they've been out of West Indies cricket of recent times. From a coach's perspective, how important are those guys, to be back in West Indies cricket, and what are some of the efforts you would make as head coach to get them back into West Indies cricket?
First thing I would like to make it known, everyone who plays regional cricket is available or is indicating that they're available for West Indies selection. I've had conversations with both said gentlemen, Hetty and Hetmyer and Evan Lewis. Having played not too long ago and understanding the complaints of players and the lack therein of the communication. I think it's important for us to communicate. It sounds simple, but I understand that just clear communication, makes the process better and it gives you a better understanding. So yes, I've had in-depth conversation with Shimron and Evan Lewis about the mindset, the plans, where they see West Indies cricket in line with themselves. And I must tell you, the feedback has been positive. Also guys like, Andrew Russell's, I've reached out to other guys like Sunil Narine and all these guys to hear what are their thoughts, because they still take part in some of our domestic competition, but it takes honest, mature conversations, which is one I'm not afraid to have with the players. And that's the position on that. I am encouraged by the discussions that we've had when it comes to West Indies cricket, and outlining clear plans as to how we integrate. Because these players, you look at the caliber of Shimron. I'm sure it hurts the fans to see him, performing elsewhere and not in the Maroon.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Gerard Morris Seeley from Sportsmax, who will be followed by Jerome Foster. Please proceed in that order, guys.
Thank you, Dario. Good morning, Narine, and congratulations on being named white-ball head coach.
Thank you very much, sir.
And my first question to you, what kind of conversations have you been having with Shea Hope as he's the leader of this team? Of course, you just mentioned Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes having that cohesiveness as a unit of leaders. What kind of conversations have you been having with Shea thus far after being assumed in your new position?
Yeah, well, the basic stuff about, the identity of our game. What identity we want to give to our cricket. Clear, from him taking over, him being probably the leading batter for our group now as captain, what is experience in the dressing room, some of the things where, we could improve, him being in the system, just getting to know how he thinks. One of the things we both clear on, and from speaking to him, getting to know him more, I understand his mindset. And one of the things we're quite clear on is just having this positive mindset around in the dressing room, making sure that role definition is quite clear, with the players. So with that comes, accountability. It gives you it gives you that sense of where we're heading with clear roles for different players. And Shea we both want to take on the game. Once we've identified what it takes to be an elite team, matching that with the personnel that could go out and execute those roles, and small targets for as a team. All these things we've discussed, and I found that we are quite like-minded in the way we want to take this game forward. And yeah, it's again, that's why I could sit down here and tell you guys that I'm quite excited about the journey, because of first of all, the leadership group. We have a team that has had about four, 5 captains in there, and the leadership group is strong. It's about galvanizing everybody in one direction, and with clear understanding of what's needed or it's what we're required to do. We're heading in the right direction.
Thank you, Darren. One more question for you. We know that it's going to be a difficult task playing at the World Cup qualifiers, because every team that goes there will want to get one of those spots at the World Cup. Are you going to take a more strategic style of coaching to ensure that we come with a game plan to win every single game? Of course, we'll be playing against different teams, so we will have to have different strategies to play against those teams. Or are you more focused on motivating the players to put out the best performance that they can each time they step out onto the field?
I think coaching without a strategic plan is craziness. And also coaching without being able to motivate is also craziness. So they both goes hand in hand. I think we have to emphasize on our preparation. In whatever you do, being actually prepared gives you the best chance of performing. If you know where you go in, where you head into, how you want to play, the opposition, you study them. Now, we have all of that at our disposal. Sitting down, planning the cricket, and committing to the things that we say we're going to do and how we're going to go out and play match against the opposition. And strategic planning is crucial. And me as a motivator is also crucial in building confidence and inspiring, in instilling belief in the plans that we have, so that we could go out and execute it.
Yeah, thank you, and all the best in UAE and at the qualifiers.
Thank you, Mr. Sammy.
Yeah, Coach. Morning, Jerome here from Radio Jamaican Television.
Morning, Jerome. What's up?
I'm good, man. First question, in terms of what the type of cricket that you want to play, based on background or from the outside before stepping into the job, the white ball team, especially the ODI team, has been struggling. Saying that you want to play positive cricket is easy, but what exactly do you want to do?
Yeah, look, I saw something started in South Africa recently under Coach Kohli and the 2 new captains. I saw level of purposeful cricket. I saw clearly there was a game plan, and again, with conversation with the 2 captains, it first starts by players understanding where we are as a team. My mission is to create an elite performing West Indies team. How are we going to do that? We first have to understand where we at as a team. West Indies here, what it takes to be an elite performing team in the world. Clearly, there's something an elite performing team is doing. So building a West Indies elite 11, not in terms of personnel, but in terms of roles. Once you've identified that, and with clear communication, clear planning, this is what this role requires. Openers, middle order batsmen, bowlers. This is what the best in the world are doing at that position. Once we understand where we are, now we start strategizing and planning from the practice, from the training. If we have to get better with our skills, start implementing those habits, and also understanding the different situations of the game, what is needed. So yes, it's having a positive mindset. Shea is big on, the mindset of the players, but also understanding the job at hand and what it requires. And we are already starting the process of just simplifying things. And me being the sponge when it comes to all the data that we have collected that will help us win, and presented it in a way that is understandable and effective in the dressing room, so that when we step out, there's true commitment to the way we say we're gonna play.
All right. My final participation here, two-part question. One, you being appointed without a lot of coaching experience, I guess you would have heard the talk. Your reaction to that, or not having a certain level of qualification like some other teams, and the second part, you not having a role in the selection of the team that you're taking to both UAE and Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I mean, the team was selected before I was appointed as head coach, so that we couldn't avoid. But that doesn't stop me from going down there and working with a West Indies cricket team. The other one, like I've made it known, coaching was not something I aspired to do during my playing days, but it's a role that actually chose me. If you understand what I mean by the way I've played, the level of experience, and I'm a work in progress. I will not sit down here and tell you, okay, no, I am aware of all those things. I understand the challenges ahead of me, but I also believe that the impact and the effect that I could have in this generation right now. And I will not let, because I don't have a certificate, stop me from, taking on the challenges that I know that I'm equipped to handle. I will tell you, I've already started the process in being certified, and also during that process, working with the West Indies team, working with further developing myself as a coach, in terms of the qualifications needed. But don't think for 1 minute I will ever question myself that I'm not fit to do that job or this role that I'm in.
All right, thank you, coach. Yeah,
no problem.
All right. I did actually promise the head coach that we would spend about 20 minutes on this press conference, but it seems as though the engagement is quite high. And
Dario, I'm not a man of the public.
So I know that he would
be eager to
continue as well.
My friends.
So we're gonna go to Jelani Beckles, and Jelani will be followed by Adriel and then Akeem Green.
Thank you, Dario. Hi, Darren. Jelani here.
Hey, Jelani, what's up, man?
Yeah, good man, good. Sammy, you mentioned earlier that you have to block out the noise and so on. I know you've had your ups and downs with the TNT, with the Cricket West Indies and so on. There's no secret. Has those sort of situations made you stronger and ready for this sort of massive job you're taking on, being West Indies coach?
Of course, different experiences as a human being. If you don't learn and gather knowledge to get better and improve your life for the future, I mean, it will show that you've not done any learning. But I mean, if I look at my journey to being here, no one thought I would play over 100 ODIs. No one thought like I would play Test cricket or even captain the West Indies. Life is about breaking barriers. Believing in yourself, trusting in the processes that could lead to success. And my strongest asset is the willpower that I have and the self-belief. And I don't see challenges as fears. I see challenges as a way to inspire and become better. And yeah, if I fail at it, I'm closer to being successful when I do it another time around. So that's my mindset. I've always been a positive thinker. I said something in 2012. I said, man, look, Jesus Christ walked this earth and did nothing wrong. And people crucify him. So once I understand what's required, and I know I'm doing everything in my power to do what's required, that's all that matters to me. You know, journalists are paid to write, reporters are paid to ask questions and write, and I'm paid to try and bring results to West Indies cricket. And I'm vouching now that I will do it to the best of my ability. I will not leave it unturned. The results will take care of itself. But I believe that I could have an impact with the men I surround myself with and the team that I have now with the two captains. I believe I could go out there and get the job done. That will start moving the needle in the right direction.
Thank you, Sammy. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Led. Thank you, Jen.
Woody or Darren, just want result if you could just turn off your mic because we're getting a lot of artifacts. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Yes, Darren. What is your? You haven't had a lot of formal coaching in the past, but what is your what would you say is your coaching style? Are you a hands-on? Are you going to be a hands-on coach, or are you going to be a coach who would be more overseer, leave it to your assistants to do the day-to-day work, but you be more of a motivator? Do you believe in the captain taking the lead and you following up behind him, or do you believe that you take the lead and the captain follows in your slipstream? What is your coaching style?
No, look, it's my coaching style is similar to my leadership style, my captaincy style. The first thing I said when I spoke to all my staff, I said, when we pack our bags, just leave the ego at home. Whatever, you could pack everything else, leave the ego at home. And that's how I've lived my life. You know, yes, I'm the head coach, but it takes a team effort in order to move things forward. You know, I believe that myself and the captain must, you know, be in sync with the way we want to play. Also, the selection panel, you know, everybody must understand what the plans and the vision is for the team. And all of us, it will take all of us to make it happen. On the ground, I have to be part of the system, of the processes. I will not be true to myself if I said, hey, you take on this. No, I have the head coach name role by my name, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna designate. I've never been that type of leader. You know, I've always incorporate everyone into the work and the job that has to be done, you know, and that's why it's a team. It's not tennis, it's not golf. It's a cricket match, which requires preparation, where myself and my staff, you know, responsible for preparing, giving the team to the captain, where he now on the field that he knows I trust his judgment that what we've planned and what we've discussed. He's out there to now inspire his players to execute these things. So they have different stages where I'll have to take lead, where the captain have to take lead, where my coaching staff, my assistant coach will have to take lead. It's a full circle, Woody, and that's how I've always operated in all the teams that I've done. The ability to make everybody feel as important as the head coach or the massage therapist. That's how you build strong culture and strong values and try to inspire performances.
Any of your past coaches you may have consulted, you know, at the international level, you know, I think you know who I'm talking about.
Of course. What actually, for someone who did not have the desire to go into coaching, now that I'm here, I see the amount of coaches I've worked throughout my career, whether it be through franchise cricket, with the West Indies team or different teams I've played, I've gathered so much knowledge, the good things they do that I see I could implement for myself. And yeah, I mean, Otis Gibson and I, we're quite close. I know you're talking about him. We're quite close. We've always been in contact from way before he came into the setup. And he was one that player coach when it was, we had a very, very good relationship in terms of planning the cricket and how we presented to the guys, you know, but I also work with Phil, you know, we won a championship together. So everybody have their own styles. And now it's, for me, all what I've gathered, the experience I've gathered over the years working with different people, and now putting all this into my style and my way. But my way is not the highway. You know what I mean? It's incorporating everybody to pull in one direction, trying to get results for our team, and you know, trying to inspire the next generation of cricketers and fans.
And just the last quick one, your assessment of where the team is at right now. I mean, you're about to go off to the UAE, then the World Cup qualifiers. Just your assessment of where the team, the group of players, West Indies cricket, what was your assessment as you take on this challenge?
And you know, numbers don't lie. We are at number 9 and number 8, respectively. We're there for a reason. We've not been consistent enough. But then when I look at the data ahead of me, you know, what we've done in the last 5 years, what we've done in the last few years, where we've been losing games, different stages, man, we're not far off, if you understand. And that excites me. When I say I'm trying to build an elite team and I look at what openers are doing in the world versus what we are doing, we're not far off. Different stages of the game where, you know, spin is killing us between overs number 16, 11 to 40, you know, areas we could improve. So yes, we're number 9 and 8, but when I look at the 1%ers, if we could improve on certain areas and just be more aware of the situation, probably a different mindset, better skills, better execution, we're not far off, you know. And if we could build on these things and improve that, the small goals that I have for the team, you know, every period, like we want to start improving on our rankings, you know, by the time the year ends, we want to finish in the top 8, you know, next year, you know, start taking these little steps. We're really not far off. It's just that certain areas of certain times of the game, we are losing, you know, in that period. And once we keep losing the fight in that period, it puts pressure lower down the further the game goes, whereas other teams are really strong in that period, which then puts pressure on the opposition. So I've understand the data, I've understood, and again, it's having honest conversations about where we are and now starting to take the action required to change our mindset and change the way we approach the game during that period. And, you know, Shea and Rothman and, you know, all the other guys, we will try to you know, incorporate that in the way we play.
Best wishes to you, mate.
Thank you very much, Rudy, man, and same to you.
Yes, we are limited to a 40-minute time span. I do see a few more raised hands. So Akeem Green, you're going to be followed by Bradley Jacks, and hopefully we'll be able to get in Reza as well before our 6.5 minutes elapse.
Just for clarity and clarification, Sammy, at this point, you don't have the level 1 certificate, is it? But you're going to be working towards, you know, getting those certificates.
I did a level 2 certificate a long time ago. I was an MCC young cricketer.
Up to level 2. All right, thanks. There were some misconceptions about it, so just wanted to clarify that.
Listen, like I said, journalists got paid to talk and right. You know, not everything you hear is correct. I've done this. Part of my MCC, being on MCC Young Cricketers staff was, you know, that was mandatory to do level 1 and, you know, level 2 and all these first aid courses and stuff like that. Didn't know back then that, you know, because again, like I said, I had no intentions of venturing into coaching. But look, in all walks of life, there's practical and there's theory. Do I believe, you know, going through what I'm about to go through in terms of further developing myself as a coach in terms of the theory behind it? Yes, I believe that. But do I also believe my experience and the practical aspect of actually knowing the game, playing the game, understanding, you know, what it takes to win? Do I need that as a coach? You bet I do. You know what I mean? So there's pros and cons. And again, it's okay to have an opinion, and rightly so, but not for one. I will question my position because of opinions of others. I've never been like that. If not, I would not be where I am today. You know, I would lay down and die and surrender. That's not Darren Sammy. That's not what runs through my blood.
All right, thanks for that clarification, Sammy. And just one quick thing. I know you have mentioned earlier about Evan, and you responded to a question about Evan and Chimron, but from the outside looking in, are there any other players that you hope in the future you can get into this setup so that, you know, you can get all your T's and I's in order in terms of how you want the team to go forward?
I don't think it's me getting players in. You know, I don't think I could get players in. You know, performances and those sort of things get players in. What I could create is a clear communication as to, you know, players being available, you know, what it takes to play for West Indies, what, you know, having conversations about, you know, our Caribbean Premier League, our first class cricket, our Super 50, you know, player availability, okay, you know, so conversations I will have, like, you know, we live in a T20 franchise era. Okay, so I'll have a conversation with Shimron. Hey, Shimron, this is what we doing for the year. You know, what are your plans? Okay, coach, I'm available to play white ball cricket for West Indies, but I would like to play IPL, or, you know, we all available during CPL or IPL and 2 other leagues. Then that's information that I have. Okay, well, Hetty, you know what? We have 5 or 6 series before the World Cup here. We need you to play in 4 of them. Blah, blah, blah. You know, just constant dialogue that is not, if you don't do this, I don't think I have a right to write off anyone from playing for West Indies. I don't think that's part of my contract. Availability, performance, you know, dictate that. My job is to help you understand your roles and show you a vision as to what it takes in that position that I'm selecting you in. But I'm not in a position, and nor should anyone, not a selector, not a coach, not to dictate, you know, this guy's career is over. I don't believe in that. Performances and availability dictates that.
Brad, I'm gonna ask you to proceed with your first question quickly.
All right,
We only have 2 minutes.
I'll try to be as quick as possible. Good morning, coach. First of all, congratulations.
Thanks, Bradley.
A trend that I've noticed in cricket teams around the world nowadays is that they have specialists for different conditions. I would like to know if that is going to be the case for the West Indies team going forward in the ODI and T20 formats.
We will try to select the best available person for the roles. We have to take in consideration, you know, the different places that we play. For example, if we are going to Australia and we know the data tells you left arm spinner, I'm just speaking, giving you an example. If the data shows left arm spin is quite, you know, Australians are vulnerable to left arm spin. Why wouldn't we go down there with 1 or 2 left arm spinners? Even if, you know, an off spinner is doing well, if you understand the point I'm trying to make. So yes, you have to take in consideration the surface, the opposition, you know, when you select teams. And that comes with strategic planning, you know, knowing that in 4 months' time, we will be in Australia. So now you start formulating and planning, and again, having clear communication to see who will be affected, even if they've been performing, if you understand what I mean. So I could go to Alzari Joseph and say, hey, we need you fresh and ready for Australia on these bouncy tracks. Maybe you could take a rest in this series. And again, it takes...
Coach, I don't want to cut you.